Hello, Facebook Live. Why do I always do that weird singing thing? I think it's because I'm so excited. Hi, can you hear me? I hope so. I don't know that I can see everyone's stuff. Welcome to Quarantine Qigong, episode 2, our Monday moods. Great. All right. Okay. Well, that's good. It seems like everybody is able to get online a little easier this time. Good, good, good. Hi, everybody. Seems like we're doing okay. Yeah, everybody's having a good time. All right. Sweet. We'll give it a couple more minutes, let people log in. How's everybody doing today? Everybody ready for Qigong? Okay, so you'll want to get a cute little puppy doggy, and you want to give them all the pets in the world because they're our favorites. Hello. You want to get a chair, and you want it to not have arms if at all possible, because we're going to be doing things where like we're moving to the side, we're going back, and we want our arms to be able to like move around pretty freely. We're going stir crazy. Okay, I see that. Well, we're gonna help with that today. All of the stuff that we're doing, I guess Blue's gonna join us for Qigong tonight. This is Blue. She's my sweet pipple. Hi. Hi. Uh-oh. Oh, you didn't. She's gonna want to be right in the middle of it. So dogs are a great way to help reduce stress. She scratches. Um, yeah, so you want to chair. Everything we're going to do tonight can be done seated or standing. But I'm going to do it both ways. Hi. Okay, go lay down. Thank you. So the first thing we're going to do, hi. Yes, hi. The very first thing we're going to do is just do some warm-ups. I know a lot of people have talked about wrist issues. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're just going to work on our wrists. Today's going to be a whole lot of self-care, you guys. You know, last time we focused on mood. This time, everybody's been sitting a lot. So, I'm so far away. Let's go up so you can see me better. Yeah, everybody's been sitting. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of us, I think, have just been sitting a lot more than we're used to. I know I have. So we're going to focus on like really kind of taking care of our joints, especially like maybe backs and wrists and all that. So we'll just start with our wrists. And so it's kind of like a figure 8. Good. And then we'll go back the other way. We're going to be working on coordination. I was like, what's that thing where you can move your body like someone says? Coordination. Good. Good. And then we're just going to jiggle them out a little bit. And then one thing I want you guys to do, and this is a really good thing for people with carpal tunnel, which some of us might be getting a lot of since we're typing so much, is open the hands really, really far and then close them really, really tight, and then open them as far as you can, close them really tight. And then I want you to do that as fast as you can while not minimizing the flex open, like open all the way every time. You should already be feeling it in your forearms. I know I am. So keep going a little more, a little more. And oh, good job, good job. I realized I did that and I already want my AC on. I'm a little hot. So we'll shake it out. We'll shake it out. Shake it out a different way. Good. Now we're going to take our hands and we're going to, I want like a nice 90-degree angle here. So the elbows down low, fingers together, and then really just twist those wrists. Yeah. Good. Think about the movement of this coming from the elbows. If you think about it that way, that'll help you relax the wrists a little more. And then go the other way. My dog is wondering why I'm talking to the television instead of her. And so she's standing right there. Good. Now you interlace your fingers in the opposite direction. So whichever thumb was on top, the other thumb is going to be on top now. And then we'll do it again. Good. If you're just joining us, we're just doing our warm-ups now. So when we're doing Qigong, we're trying to basically reverse this direction. We're trying to basically bring a whole bunch of qi into the body, allow qi to flow through the channels, through the body, through the muscles, evenly, quickly, easily. Shake it out again. And then we're going to rotate the forearms at the elbows, just kind of round those elbows and open those up. So we're focusing on all the big joints, right? Wrists, elbows, shoulders. We'll get to the neck, hips, knees, ankles. Let's go the other way. Because we want everything to be relaxed, warmed up, open, so all of the qi can flow through our whole body and give us all the benefits of Qigong. Good. Now let's roll our shoulders. And really start to feel like how much movement you have in your shoulders, right? Like, if my shoulders here, and then I bring it all the way up. And if I leave my hand here and I bring it down, that's that much space. That's a long movement. Like our shoulders can move a whole lot more than we think they can. Thank you, bro. So we want to do like just big round circles. Blue, go lay down. Go lay down. And then let's go the other way. Good girl. Sorry, I was just trying to look at the stuff on the internet that y'all are sending me, but it's a little difficult, so I'm just going to focus on the class. Good. Get those shoulders nice and moving around. Good. And then we can just jiggle them out a little bit. We can do a little bit of if you have enough room around you. Just kind of open those shoulders a little more. We can do some big circles here. Good. I used to tell everybody we do this because of all the driving that we do, but now I say it's because of all the sitting at computers we do. Because I didn't do a lot of that before, right? And it's hard on me. I imagine it might be a little hard on some of you who aren't used to it too. So we can bring this shoulder across. And I want you to think about dropping this down, right? So rather than like hiking that shoulder till you get over, we'll bring it around and then down. Good. That'll really stretch that shoulder open. We'll do the other side. Good. Next, we're going to get to one of my favorite movements, teacups. I'm going to stand up for this one. You can stay seated if you'd like. Again, anything can be done seated. So the teacups, I'm going to stand back so you can really see me. I want to keep this hand flat the whole time. So I'm going to bring it in, out, over my head, and down. Good. Good. So a little slower for those of you that are having trouble seeing. Bring it in front of my face and down. There's going to be this point usually right around here where you want to flip it over, but you don't have to. Just bring it on through. Good. We call it teacups because the idea is that we would be holding a cup of tea and it would stay flat and it wouldn't spill. So you can put your hand on your hip to give you a little bit of support. Good, and then we can go the other direction. I know, right? I'm gonna have you pat your belly and rub your head after this, so stay tuned. All right. So I think we come out, around, bring it behind our head, up, and drop it down, and then keeping it flat the whole time. Good. Let's do 5 more. Oh, counting is sometimes hard. I think that was 4. Let's say this is 5. Good. And now we're going to go to the other side. So we'll bring in. So you can look at your hand because that'll help you keep it flat, right? When you're looking at it. Or you can put something in it. I'd recommend something soft so that if you drop it, it doesn't hurt your head or your face or your foot. Some kind of coming out, around in front of me. Good. Behind me, around in front of me, over my head, down and around. Good. And then let's go to the other direction. Up, around, down. Good. Woo. I'm really tired on this side. So if you have any sort of like shoulder injury or any kind of like chronic shoulder rotator cuff impingement, this is a fantastic movement to keep that at bay. You know, and people are like, well, do I need to do the movement every day? I'm like, yeah, you need to do the movement every day. You know, if it hurts, do you take painkillers every day? So this is kind of like that, right? I think of it as medication. So if you're in pain, this is your dose. Oh, good. And we can shake those shoulders out. Nice. All right, I'm going to come in a little closer again. All right, what I want to do now is I'm going to like focus on the neck. Right, so I want to like really think about kind of extending my head up with my chin slightly tucked in, because that will kind of, if my chin's out, you can see I've got this like round. It's fine if I rounded neck, cervical spine. If I tuck my chin, it really kind of elongates it and stretches it and straightens it out. So that's what I want. Just for Qigong, just for right now. We don't always want a straight spine, right? The curves in our spine back and forth are actually good for us. That's why we have them. But when we're doing Qigong, we're going to stretch up, straighten up that cervical spine a little bit. And then I want you to look to the left. I want you to find something to focus on. And then come back to the front and find something to focus on. And then to the right and find something to focus on. And then back to the front and to the left and to the front and to the right. And keep alternating between them, finding your spot and focusing on it. And then begin to speed it up as much as you're comfortable, still lengthening up through that neck, lengthening up through the cervical spine as fast as you can while still maintaining your focus on each spot. If you get dizzy, you can slow down or stop. And if you can, keep going. Okay, good. Good. So that's really good for kind of like that, like C1, C2 atlas kind of area. Really helps to like move that around in ways that we don't allow. It's also a really great movement because we're focusing and unfocusing our eyes quickly, which helps draw blood to the area and kind of flushes it out. Because normally when we're looking at computer screens all day, our eyes focus in like a one specific position and then like the muscles just kind of stay there. And as you can imagine, like if you did that when you're driving or typing, it gets sore. It'll do that with your eyes too. So focusing on that. And while we're at it, let's just rub our hands together a little bit. And let's just massage our temples, right? Let's do 36 times. Again, it's hard to talk and count. And then we'll do 36 times the other direction. Good. Keep going. Keep going. Good. Nice. So that's also going to just help draw blood to the area and make everything nice and healthy, make our eyes last longer, which is always a good thing. Okay. Now we are going to, while we're here, let's focus on our ankles. So if you can cross your foot, do it like this. And I want you to take like this fat part of your thumb and put it right behind the ball of the foot. It kind of fits in perfectly, right? It kind of just like slips right in there. And I want you to like reach around and then you can draw some circles. And you can go both directions. If you want, if you can do this standing up, you can just bring your foot up and do circles. And we can go the other way. And we can write our name. Good. And then we can do the other side. If you're in a chair, go ahead and switch to the other side. You can also use a chair for balance if you'd like. If you want to push yourself, you can think about trying to not have balance at all. Or balance, I guess, on your leg. Good, and we can switch directions. One of the things that Qigong and Tai Chi, talking and balancing is also hard. One of the things about Tai Chi and Qigong that makes it so powerful is the exercise of balance. So I do encourage you to try. And now write your name. Good. Bring this back over here. Now we're going to give our knees some good old loving. So let's rub our hands together. Get them nice and warm. And then take those palms and just rub on those knees. And think about how much you love them. Think about how much work they do for you, how they're there for you, and just thank them. Give them some love. There we go. Turn that off. Maybe you can hear me a little better. I think I switched directions. If you didn't, go ahead and do that now. Yeah, I did. Okay, good. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our hips. So if you're sitting in a chair, one thing you can do is just kind of like rock and try and lift that hip up. You can see I kind of get some space between the chair, right? And so you can just kind of like rock back and forth. And you can do kind of like a little bit of a rounding. You can go back the other way. Do this one for a little while. I'm going to stand up. So if you want, you can just kind of bring the hips around. Yeah. Really think about connecting that crown of the head up to the sky. And think about the feet grounding into the earth so that you're kind of like hula hooping around with these 2 points at the top and the bottom are kind of stuck with those hips just circling around them. Good, and we can go the other way. You can put your hands on your hips if you want to give yourself a little bit of support there. When we do Qigong, we always want to think about staying nice and relaxed, breathing deeply. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that now. So we do a lot of belly breathing, right? So like this is my belly button, my umbilicus. And then where I want to be breathing into is below that, right? So I want to imagine I'm breathing all the way down here. This is called the lower dantian. And this is like our energetic center, our reservoir of qi, if you will. So this is where we want our qi to be stored. If you're new to Qigong, we're going to give a little information. If you're familiar with my classes, then you know all this already, but bear with me as we go through it again. As we get anxious or excited or happy or sad or fearful, our qi jumps up to our heart, right? It kind of jumps up to what we call the middle dantian. And that's fine, that's normal, right? The problem is sometimes it gets stuck there. And that's when we start to have like palpitations in our heart. And like, when you can feel it and you get anxiety and everything gets kind of stuck there, we get chest tightness. Sometimes it can even jump all the way up to our upper dantian, or the right between our eyes at the third eye, and qi can kind of get stuck up here, and that's when we get headaches, migraines, or even hypertension. So a lot of Qigong is about learning to pull that qi down and just let it descend back to the dantian. So for now, I want you guys to take a couple deep breaths with me, breathing deep down into the spot, put palm over palm. Not just fingers over fingers, but palm over palm. And put it right on that dantian. And let's do 3 deep breaths, breathing into this point. Good. Let's do one more. If you're sitting in a chair, make sure you're sitting up straight and towards the front of the chair so that your back is not supported by the back of the chair and you engage those muscles a little more. Okay, everybody done? Good. Let's go into our circle breath or gathering qi. So we inhale as we draw our arms big, and then we exhale as we bring the arms down. Let's do it again. Inhaling up, exhaling down.
So this is one of the main movements. You've probably seen it before, even if you've never done it. You might have done it in yoga before. So what we're doing, let this movement go with your breath. Since I'm talking, I'm not really breathing with it, but you should because you can. So when I do it, I'm inhaling and I'm feeling chi come in through the palms of my hands. And when I'm exhaling and pulling the chi down, I feel it come in through the crown of my head, through the top of my head. Again, I'm feeling chi come in through the palms, but also drawing up from the earth through the soles of my feet. So chi is coming into our body from 5 different points: the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands, the crown of the head. And all that chi is going to our dantian. So you keep going, but I'll show you the chi. It comes up into our dantian. It comes in into our dantian. It comes down the crown and right through the middle body, through all 3 dantians to that lower one. Stay nice and relaxed, feeling yourselves full and active, but not tight, not tense. Oh, good. So today, a lot of the stuff we're going to do is going to focus on the lungs. One, because I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and the oak is really fucking with everybody. So we're going to try and help that. And then the other thing is, with the pandemic going around, we see a lot of people affected by lungs, right? So we want to make sure our lungs are very strong. Our lungs are the first organ that the outside air interacts with, right? As soon as we breathe it in, it goes into our lungs. So they're kind of the most vulnerable. So one of the things I want you to do, this movement is called massaging the lungs. We can do it in a chair. You can do it standing up. I want you to really kind of feel like you find your clavicle, right? And then go about halfway and then start to come down and just go like 1 or 2 vertebrae in between those, in between those ribs. It should be very, very tender. So I want you to take your thumb and I want you to put it right in there. Good. And then we're going to make these very, very gentle, slow movements. I'm going to keep my hips and my head square facing you. I want you to do the same. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these a nice straight line, almost as if there's a piece of wood in front of here, and these are going to move together like this, rather than like this. Does that make sense? It will in a minute. Let's just get to it. So I'm going to turn just my waist and my chest, right? So I'm not reaching with my arms, right? This isn't a back exercise. I'm really focusing just kind of right here, right? And just moving. And it becomes hard for me to talk because as I change this position, it kind of squeezes my lungs. So it's a very subtle movement. It's really small. If you're doing giant big movements and not feeling it too much, it's because you're moving more with your back or you're moving with your hips. I want you to really focus on kind of keeping the hips and the waist still and really just moving the center area right here. Good. Keeping that head focused straight ahead. Good. Good. And relax. Let's do a circle breath in our chair. Let's do 2 more. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. We got to make sure we stay nice and healthy through all of this. Good. Good. Our next movement is going to be drawing the bow. And we can do a nice seated position here. I have to move back or I'm going to wake the dog up, in which case she'll want to participate again. All right. So I want your feet a little wider this time. And then we're going to hold our hands kind of in front of us like this. And then we're going to inhale as we draw that bow and exhale, coming back to center. And then we inhale as we shift our weight to the side that we're pulling with the arm. And we come back to center. So inhale. So things to focus on when you're doing this is I want you guys to really think about like really feeling that chest open. The other thing is don't tilt like this, right? I know we're coming back, but I want you to keep those shoulders nice and level. So don't let it kind of come down like that. One of the tendencies is for people to kind of like do this, right? And I want you guys to really think about keeping nice and level and straight. So we're going to do this one for a while. This is a really good one. If you feel comfortable, we're going to get up out of the chair. You're more than welcome to stay in your chair though. Good. And here we're going to take kind of a wide stance and we want to squat down a little bit. The more you squat, the harder it's going to be. So do, what feels good for your limit. All right. And then we're going to inhale as we come to the side and exhale down. Keep going. I'm going to pull this camera down a little bit so you can see my feet because I'm doing something with them that I want you to be really aware of. So I have them turned out, and you can turn one out to the side that you go. That helps keep that knee in line with that foot, right? And then we can turn the other one out. Or you can just leave them both out. I want you to think about that knee staying in line with that ankle. There she goes. Really opening up that chest. Remember, we're focusing on our lungs here. The lungs are very much connected to our skin and connected to what we call wei qi or defensive qi. I know, sweet girl. You guys keep going. Go, up on the bed. Up on the bed. Good. Keep going. I'm gonna come back. I want you to give me 3 more good ones on each side. Again, with this movement, let the breath control the movement. We want to think about our breath beginning and ending with the movement. So as I inhale, I start the movement, and I finish my inhale as the movement ends. And then I start my exhale, and then I finish my exhale as the movement ends. Good. Let's do a couple circle breaths. If you're standing, you can stay standing. Relaxing, breathing deep into that dantian. Good. Let me grab my little sheet where I decided all the things we were going to do today. Good. Yes. Okay, perfect. One of the other things I want us to do is focus on our spines a little bit. My back's been hurting me just a little bit. So if you're sitting in your chair, the movement is going to be, we're going to bring our arms all the way up above our head, and then we're going to come down as we bend forward. And then you let the head drop. And then we come up, letting the wrists stay nice and limp. And then when you get to the top, you flex them open. I know you can't see that. Exhaling down, inhaling up. So what we get is this nice kind of like undulating movement with our spines. And you can make the movement as big or as small as you need. And then you keep going, and I'm going to show the standing variation. Good. Our standing variation is rowing the boat, right? So feet are going to be a little wider. And we're going to kind of like sit back. My spine's nice and straight as I bring my arms up. And then I'm going to row my hips forward. See how I get that nice rolling movement in my back? So I inhale down. Exhale, rolling it forward. Good. And you just want to feel like each vertebra of the spine moving with this. Good. And my breath is off a little bit because I'm talking. All right, do 3 more of whichever one you're doing. Staying nice and relaxed. Good. Good. Now we're just gonna shake. So you can shake in your chair. You can stand up and really feel that jiggling. You can move around a little bit if you want. This is a really, really awesome movement that we never do as adults, and we always yell at children for doing. We should stop that, and we should do this all the time, right? We just let that chi out. Oh, make sure you got a little bend in your knees so you're moving up and down. You can even rise up a little bit and hit those heels to get a little bit more of a movement going. Good. Keep going. Keep going. I know you've stopped, but start it again. I know we feel silly doing this, but it's fun. Feel silly. No one else can see you. I love it. There's people all around the world, maybe, jiggling and doing Qigong in their houses. Yeah. If you've seen all the trampoline crazes, this is just like that, except you don't have to have a trampoline that takes up a huge amount of space. I mean, not a huge amount, but like enough. Okay. And then when you come to a close, Just stand there, nice and straight, nice and tall, and feel your body. Feel any sensations you might have going through it. Breathe deep into that dantian. And let's do 3 circle breaths. I'd love to know what kind of sensations or feelings you guys got during that movement. I'm always very tingly afterwards. And to me, that's like my chi that's been released, right? Everything gets kind of stagnated and stuck throughout the workday. So when we do that, we allow all that chi free. So one of the things we do is we do this circle breath to help return it to the dantian. The next movement we're going to do is very similar to that one. And I just reach kind of in front of myself and bring my hand in. And then I do the same thing with this hand. But while I do that, this hand on my chest is going to go down to the lower dantian. So they kind of trade positions. And I want both hands to start and stop at the same time. So the path of the arc of the hand reaching out is much greater than just traveling down the chest. So my hand reaching out has to travel much faster, and the hand on my chest has to travel much slower. One thing when we're doing standing positions like this is to make sure that you don't lock your knees out like I just did. You want your knees to stay nice and relaxed with a little micro bend. Now I can add a little bit of a turning movement to this. So again, I'm sort of like drawing chi in to my chest. I'm nourishing my lungs, as well as all my internal organs. And it's very calming, right? And it's encouraging all the chi to descend down to that dantian. Now again, I'm not like you down there chi. Because anytime we try and force stuff, it creates more stagnation. So we're really just trying to stay nice and relaxed while we do this movement. Good. And then when we finish, we can just let both hands come to the dantian. And we'll take some deep breaths in. All right, we can come sit together. We're going to do a little bit of stuff now for more allergies. So I want you to think about rubbing your hands together. And just put them on your chest. Just put them high up there. Feel that heat. Feel that chi in the lungs. And then we can just rub down. Tap them. Good. Nice. Good. And now let's do some more. Let's just really end with some really great circle breaths, focusing on gathering the chi in from the universe around us and drawing it to our dantian. So if you're sitting, feel free, you can put your legs out a little bit. You want your feet nice and flat on the ground. So if you can go straight out and keep your feet flat, that's best. If you need to bend them a little bit so you make sure the feet have a solid connection, that's better than not. The most important thing is to have the feet have a solid connection because you want to feel the chi coming up through the earth. And then bring your hand like this and down. I'm going to go ahead and stand for this one. You can imagine the palms are huge. The hands have very long fingers reaching out, gathering all the chi. The palms are these giant wells where chi just flows into them, into the center of the palm, up the arms, down to the dantian, pulling chi down from heaven, through the crown of our head, down our spine, into that lower dantian, chi rising up from the earth, through the soles of the feet, coming up the legs, into that lower dantian. Feel all the chi. Feel relaxed. Feel your lungs open and clear. Feel your breath deep, rooted, almost as though you're breathing up from the ground itself. And let's all do one more together. Inhaling. Let's bring the hands to prayer position, closing on top of our head, pulling them down in front of our chest. And just repeat to yourself, my body is very healthy. My body is very healthy. My body is very healthy. Thank you guys so much for coming. This was Quarantine Qigong, episode 2. So we focused a lot on sort of self-care, opening up the joints, taking care of ourselves after maybe sitting all day, and then focusing a lot on the lungs and the spine. Let me know, leave comments, let me know what you think. If you had any sensations, what movements you liked a lot, anything that you are dealing with that you'd like to focus on next week. I'm going to keep doing this for the remainder of April, clearly at least. Every Monday, 6 p.m., generally maybe 40 to 60 minutes. Donations are always appreciated. You can find all of that info in the description of the video. They are not expected or required though. Please just always show up, come to this class, share it with everyone you know. Let's all stay healthy during this. I am Brett Rogers. I'm with Red Raven Acupuncture, and my practice has closed its doors temporarily while this is going on, but I am doing telehealth appointments. Those are also donation based. We do guided Qigong movements specifically for your conditions, as well as acupressure, nutritional consultations, and we can do herbal formulations. Those are that again. That's all donation based. The herbs do you do have to pay for the herbs though. Okay. Well, thanks again. I look forward to hearing all your comments and seeing what y'all had to say, and hope to see you next week. All right. You can find my website at redravenacupuncture.com. If you're here, then you clearly made it to Red Raven's business page on Facebook. And I guess we'll see you soon. Okay. Bye, everybody.